Day 7. Now we were entering the unknown, as this was the farthest we had been in the tour in our 2020 attempt. So leaving North Fork, we would head down the Salmon River Road to pick up the Indian Creek Road. We'd take the Indian Creek Road up the mountain until it intersected the Henderson Ridge Trail. We would ride the Henderson Ridge Trail up to the Divide Trail and our first challenge point of the day. Indian Creek gets a little exciting. About halfway up, it turns into single track and kind of goes up the river. Henderson Ridge was a blast. At the top, we missed our left turn and ended up on the Butcher Knife Ridge Trail, which is a great trail. Unfortunately, it takes us in the wrong direction. So we got it figured out and turned around and got to the challenge point. Perfect timing. Nice. Alright, we're getting down to it now. Get your feet wet. After taking in the sunrise, it was off to the next challenge point for the day, Bluenose Lookout. To get to Bluenose Lookout, we would continue down the Divide Trail for nearly 20 miles. Our ride across the Divide Trail was great. However, there was a significant amount of downfall that we had to contend with. So it was a little slow going as we made our way across the divide. Day 7's often referred to as a road transfer day. However, the morning of day 7, you actually get 43 miles of awesome single track. As we descended down the Divide Trail, we ran into a couple of young men that worked for Idaho Parks and Rec on their dirt bikes with chainsaws headed up to the Divide Trail to do a little maintenance. We thanked them for what they do and headed on over to the lookout.
Alright, we've made the day 7. We've made the turn off of top of Anderson Ridge onto the Divide Trail. We took our wrong turn for a minute, but we're back on track. We got the day 7 #1 challenge point, the Divide Trail, and now we're rolling a little bit ahead. The soloist will split off from our route. They get a shortcut this morning. We will stay on the Divide Trail over to Bluenose Lookout. So Bluenose will be our next CP.
Bluenose Lookout, we'd be headed for Challenge Point 3, Nez Perce Pass. So we would descend from the lookout over Horse Creek Pass, down Horse Creek Road, and then we made a stop down in Cooper Draw to filter some water and refill our water packs. After refilling our water, we picked up West Fork Road, and then it's just a series of 4 service roads until you get to the Nez Perce Road. Once on the Nez Perce Road, you take it on up to Nez Perce Pass and Challenge Point 3. From Nez Perce Pass, we would be headed to Challenge Point 4, the Burnt Knob Lookout. This section is the longest section of road on the tour, and it's necessary because you're going in between the Selway Bitterroot Wilderness and the Frank Church River of No Return Wilderness. It's the only way through unmotorized vehicles through this section. So we would take the Magruder Road to the Magruder Crossing and then continued the Magruder Road up to the Burnt Knob Lookout. Yeah, and we were pretty fortunate once we got to the Burnt Knob Lookout. There was a family up there visiting, also from Texas, who were having a picnic, enjoying the scenery, and they filled us full of fresh sliced watermelon and gave us a couple of bottles of water. It was just what we needed. It still amazes me the people that you meet along the tour. They're all very interested in this crazy adventure.
We've taken a little break, and now we're getting ready to hit it again. Woo. Still got about 100 miles of road to Elk City. I'm in 60 miles to Lowell. Left turn. And we're crossing the Selway River, headed for Elk City. So this is 78 miles to Elk City. Pulling off the Nez Perce Road to go to the Burnt Knob Lookout. Our, I don't know, fourth challenge point for day 7.
Leaving Burnt Knob Lookout, we were off to Challenge Point 5, the Red River View. So this would be about 30 miles from Burnt Knob, and most of that was the Magruder Road. After probably 20 miles, we turn off the Magruder Road and pick up an ATV trail on up to the challenge point. And that was a fun, fast ATV trail. Our next challenge point would be Anderson Butte. But prior to heading up to that lookout, we would make an intermediate stop in Elk City. So from Red River View, it's just a maze of ATV trails. We had a brief issue where we lost a shift lever. Had to turn around. We found it, got it fixed, and made our way into Elk City. While in Elk City, we would eat some lunch and stock up on supplies and gas. As on day 8, there's no gas or food options available. So we would have to tanker quite a bit of extra fuel leaving Elk City.
That's pretty dang nice. Anyway, we should be there. What's the matter, Dave? Freaking KTM. Shifters and battery ground cables.
Bellies full, stocked up on supplies and gas, we would leave Elk City for the short ride up to Anderson Butte.
Okay. Well, we're leaving Elk City. I have 5 gallons of fuel on my on my fender. God forbid we get into anything technical. Dave's got 3 gallons. Yes, sir. Nah, we don't need it. It's an ancillary point. We've already got 6, or we only had to have 4. So we don't need it. Alright, so we're gonna do the deck phenomenal run. What you doing, Dave?
repacking the tanker load here.
Exxon Valdez. What is that? 5, 6, 7, 8 gallons of extra gas we're packing. A little bit crazy.
Leaving Anderson Butte, we would take the boundary trail north until it intersected with the Selway River Road. Now, this section of road had been closed the last couple of years due to a mudslide in the area, but this year it was open. So we would descend down to the Selway River. There was a little technical area we had to get through right at the bottom, but we made it through. And then it was just taking the Selway River all the way to the motel for the night in Lowell. It still ended up being a pretty long day. It was, I don't know, 8:39, maybe 10 o'clock. Might have been close to 10 p.m. by the time we got to our motel. It's kind of confusing on the times because you're actually in Pacific time here.
Alright, we went up and got Anderson Butte lookout, and now we're heading north towards Lowell. With just 5 gallons of gas on the back. The bike's handling great.